Hi and welcome to the Holistic Hub with Marie and Martine, a welcoming, nurturing and soul-supporting environment of all things spiritual, energy and alternative. Our intention is to freely and lovingly share the personal truths, stories or wisdoms we've gained, hopefully offering any guidance, new perspective or light bulb moment that you may wish to take away to assist you through your navigation of the journey out of 3D, through 4D and toward 5D and beyond.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Holistic Hub. Mm-hmm. And I think, actually, I checked the other day, I think we have 23 subscribers. So maybe nice. we get a subscriber per episode. Until then it just goes crazy. I visualize it going crazy.
Good. Well, maybe we need to put one of those subscribe buttons up somewhere. I'll have to learn how to do that.
Yeah, we need to learn that. Yeah, we'll get a bit techie later. I'm getting some new audio. So I am feeling the need to upgrade a lot. So look, listen out. You'll be hearing me a lot more clearly soon in an earpiece near you soon. Anyway, so Marie and I are just going to do a quick zippy equinox issue today. So we're now the 23rd of
22.
No, is it 22nd today?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23rd tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was confused because I was just confirming all my tomorrow clients. 22nd today, which is pretty much the hub of the equinox. So 21, 20, 22, 23 is sort of around that hub equinox energy. However, Marie and I were literally in the very brief before here chat we had was discussing how is it going to actually end? Is this not just the precipice of another massive change that we'll be feeling, and we'll be moving into that different frequency that matches that equinox energy and the equinox portal, the equinox openings. So again, remembering that if you've been feeling any aspects of the last few weeks, the last few days becoming and feeling really big for you, my first number one advice is don't take it personally. Yeah, really lighten it up here, really lighten it up to remember light is light, and with light comes the duality of dark, and neither are bad, neither are good, nothing is good, nothing is bad. It's about creating that neutrality and creating creating with the co-creator of your world into the things that you actually, and the vibrations that you actually want to create. So again, for me in my world, peace is I'm a co-creator of a lot of peace in my world. I'm a co-creator of a lot of joy. And what can you do in this moment in time to really refine some of the things that you're buying into as things that are still happening to you, that you're still aligning to a story, that you're still aligning to a truth or a perception or an opinion or a judgment? And what can we do and bring this into the current vibration of the equinox? Over to you, Marie.
Yeah, well, amen. Over and out. No, it's funny because I literally I had the urge to put up one of my YouTube posts today too, so that's in the process of uploading at the moment, and it's a very brief one as well, and I needed to sort of just come in to say a check on hi and talk a little bit about the equinox too. So, you know, for a long time I've been saying in many different forums and ways that this equinox, I've felt for some time, is going to be a game changer. And I still believe that. I have no doubt about it. And certainly from what I'm feeling, reading and seeing out there from other enlightened entities and beings and their reports, there's a similarity that, you know, this is really moving into new earth. This is really shifting now into the higher dimensional frequencies that we've had these frequencies on offer, but we're really moving across. So what does that mean? It means that, I mean, we're on this new moon, and everything that Martine has just said also, new moon energy, we know on that singularity, so to speak, is birthing, creating, putting out what we want, projecting into the ether the things we desire from the heart, not from anything less than the love aspect, and to monitor that, what you are putting out there. But combine that with this new frequency, combine it with the golden age energies, combine it with the golden crystal and grid frequencies that are now on tap. The propulsion for what we can create is beyond our comprehension. But to do that, we've got to have this in alignment. We've got to be aligned, heart, mind as one. That's the movement towards 5D. And that progression forward into fifth dimensional is absolutely about you getting to know you. To create what you want, you have to get to know what you're actually putting out there. You have to get to hear and listen and truthfully, honestly feel within you what you are sounding and saying and speaking, known subconsciously and unconsciously. And we can only do that by tapping here first to if we're really meaning what we're saying. Or are we just hoping still with guilt and with, doubt and with fear? Where are we? And I feel this is the precipice moment that you speak of, to decide and discern, who am I and where do I really want to be? And I think this is the game changer for everybody, because with this intensification of light that's coming, we are going to see shifts beyond us and outside of us in the physicality. That's the game, though, to remember. So discernment, detachment are key coming up for the next few months and couple of years. But to practice that, because again, reaction or responding is your point of call. Am I reacting? Am I in fear here? And I've seen that with even my closest family this week. It's been big teachings coming up in them as they're awakening on their journey is to what is fear and what are they creating? And so I've had to say to them individually and uniquely, this is about you. It doesn't matter how it's presenting right now. And in that, I've seen that old pattern that we all do of, oh, can you fix it? Can you clear this? Can you do something about this? Oh, Mum, can you step in and shift that? No, I can, but I'm not, and I can't in truth. Because if I'm meant to, yes, I will assist. But it's been the empowering week to my members of family to say, you know what, you can. And this is how you're going to do it. And these are the tools. You know it, but now you have to choose to use them. And as we know, the greatest tests come when we're in crisis, we're under the pump. Our greatest fears are coming to the surface. And as I said to one of my daughters today, as she's come out the other side of her moment, in the recognition that I simply said to her, there's no dilly-dallying with this now. It's either fear or it's not. And you now have to discern, am I in fear or am I not? Because you're the creator with that vibration that's been pushed to the surface, as we continuously say, to look at it and then to make a vibrational shift to that. And that's through this, through choice, through our thought, projecting into what we want, which is what we started with at the beginning of this post, this upload. Okay, so it might sound simple and say, oh, when I'm in my moment, it's all really, but this and this and this and this. No, it's fear or not, it's doubt or not, it's judgment or not, it's whatever presenting or it's not. It's that or love. And if love and joy and expansion and beauty and all good things aren't present in the moment, then neither is your vibration. And so these are the easy reckoners, the simple moments to say, and I've had to do it, I know you do, to say, and this is truly what I do, am I in love right now? Am I feeling joyous? Am I feeling happy? Am I feeling peaceful? Am I, in this state of wow bliss? If not, where am I? And adjust. And again, it's not wrong or right, but it is up to each one of us to get where we want to be. No one can do it. No great mantra is going to get you there. No group's going to get you there. It's simply, and I said in my personal YouTube today, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be running groups. You don't have to know your mission. You don't have to be this, this extraordinary, have websites, do whatever. You don't have to do that. But you must be all that you can be in this moment of now. It's coming back to, if you simply being the best version of you in every moment and raising your vibration to the higher point, as you know, as you can incrementally do that, or jump, whatever it be for you. But if you are truly with your heart and true intention saying, I wish to rise, I wish to know the greater picture, I wish to learn more about myself, I want to understand me better, to see that I'm creating my world, how can I improve that? How can I tweak that to make me feel happier, better, more abundant, whatever it is for you? And as you walk through that and you honor that truth in you, you are being everything that you can possibly be right now. There is nothing else. And with every moment you step, you radiate more, you emanate more of the true creative source essence that you truly are. And for me, that's what this next 6 months is truly going to be about, us coming into that truth of where are we? Are we being honest to self? And many are going to be challenged. And I'm not saying this to promote fear. I'm never about fear, but I'm about truth and honesty. And truth and honesty in the walk is you can't do this all just woohoo, la, 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 la. You're going to hit challenges. You're going to hit those moments that aren't coming at you. Okay, keep remembering, they're not being sent by spirit. No one's saying, oh, you deserve this, or it's coming at you. You are the creator of every moment for that greater expansion of knowledge of self. That's it.
And that expansion is the great word. You know, you can't leap off into something, into a new sensation without somehow feeling uncomfortable about the new environment that you find yourself in. That's a really natural and organic response. But again, are you going to judge that response in yourself? Are you going to then wig out and fall into old patterns? It's more about having the moment in time to be conscious and aware that you will be triggered. Of course you will be triggered. You've put yourself in a new situation. And, you know, I always bring it back down to, you know, what do you know about yourself right now? Or if, you know, especially when I'm looking towards understanding what's happening for my daughter or someone else around me, sometimes I start with their sun sign or their moon sign, and I look into what that means for them or what that could be for them as well. And so, for instance, if I'm doing that with my daughter, she's a Pisces sun sign and a Sagittarian moon sign. And so she needs to be processing a lot on a consistent basis as a Pisces. And so I see her do that a lot through her ability to feel as though she's heard or needing to express something. And so when I'm feeling like maybe a little bit out of my depth, you know, as a parent, because we learn on the job, don't we? So, you know, she starts to move through something, and then I'll meet her where she's at. And I might not always have the answer, but to get to find what my truth is there, sometimes I reflect back to what she needs in that moment. How can you do the same thing for yourself when you're feeling like you're in a little bit of deep water? How can you do the same for you when you feel like something's testing you? You know, we've spoken about in great detail that 2023 is the year that marks where we walk our talk. You know, you can't, like, none of us, like as Marie's spoken about for years as well, this 5D is not a destination. It's a progression that we're all heading towards. And then it's kind of like, if you imagine like a glacier is like an ever moving thing. And so, you know, if you stand on the glacier, you're still moving. You might not be able to visually see that you're moving, but you're moving. And this is this moving away from the third dimension that collectively we're all doing. We're all elevating to this. We can't actually always visually see that we're doing that, but we're all on this glacier moving into the 5D, moving up and beyond the 5D, you know, in this collective movement. And so naturally it's going to shift and shape things. It's, you know, the glaciers, again, they don't always, they take twists and turns. There's a beautiful, it's actually a really good analogy of mine, because they're really like quite stunning things. And so as we move through these like glaciers of our life, they're going to activate and release both the shadow parts that we speak about, but also invite new ways of thinking and new ways of being and new ways of doing, new ways of co-creating. And as Marie said as well, you know, looking back to how you have co-created up until this point in time, the reflection that you're seeing out, how can you take a moment to not judge that, to not be dark on yourself for what you've created? Or remember how it's not about, the outcome of what you're working towards trying to co-create, but also just putting one foot in front of the other and making these small little moves. If there's one thing that I also know about how we're co-creating is you can't plan at the moment. You can't, Marie's always spoken about how in that fifth dimensional frequency, it's not about the acquisitions. It's not about how much money you've got in the bank. It's about the trust that we have more than enough in that moment in time for whatever we need to do. And then trusting that, and then allowing that moment to have its moment before you even move into the next moment.
Yeah. I think that's paramount. And that's, hopefully, I might not have said it clearly, but that's exactly where we all need to aim to be. And yeah, it's easy to say it than do it, but it's in the doing that we gain. And unless we're trying, how are we ever going to know? This is the key for me. But now is the only point. In truth, time is an illusion, but now is the moment that you get to choose what you want for the next moment. And it might only be in the next 5 minutes. It is that these frequencies now, everything is such a potential with energy that you can't plan, and we haven't been really able to plan to a degree the future. We hold visions, we hold intentions, but again, as we shift with those, so does that vision. The more that we engage and we become more conscious, and the more that we learn, or we can look back and say, wow, we've moved from that space, or we've moved from that vibration. Well, any vision or thought that we may have been holding, we've got a whole new mindset, a whole new energy to add to that. So that has to change too. So this is where we don't get locked in and bogged down. That's the old third dimensional pattern. And yes, we're still having humanness, but I really believe, again, coming back to this equinox, this is the moment in time where we are actually becoming truly unhuman. We are really moving from here on now in our soul journeys and our true path, individual paths, to becoming the crystalline being that we are, to becoming less dense, to becoming less human aspected, to becoming more into that higher multidimensional aspect of self in the greater remembrance of who we are. So many will be shifting rapidly from the remainder of this year. We're going to see much change, I feel, this year. And I really feel the next 8 weeks we're going to see big changes, not just in our personal world and in our own, unique family structures perhaps, but certainly on a global stage too. And in that space that we've spoken of as well, it's time to, again, remember your skills, to have them at hand. If we're practicing them every day, then we don't have to practice them, because then we just emanate them, as I spoke about before. We just are them. And it was funny, and this isn't an ego trip for me, but it just I got the flash this morning. My youngest is doing this video in year 12 for one of her final projects. And so I've been her star of her video that she's organised, and it was good fun, actually. I had fun. Anyway, she said to me yesterday, she said, her teacher said, oh, is that your mum? Because there's, me live, but there's photos of me in this video. And she said, yeah. And she said, and it's one of my new website photos. And he said, she seems really nice. And I thought, and she said, I have to tell you this, Mum. And then he said something else about you and something else about you. And we were having a giggle about it last night. But I woke up this morning, not like dwelling and thinking about it, but I got the message, the heart message, that he saw your radiance. He wasn't seeing you. He was feeling the vibration from the photo of what I was radiating, which is why he commented. And this is how we comment on other people when we're drawn to them or we see them. It's not what you know or the knowledge that you're sprouting in that moment. It can be you say nothing. You're not even live. That was a photo. But people feel you. The vibrations, regardless, because everything's energy. It's not structure or form or matter. Oh, my God. Are you still there? I'm not sure. My team might pop in, but I'm going to keep going just in case. That people will just feel you. They will just energetically vibe to you. And so that was another really nice teaching and reminder for me to just see and I guess, to have that moment of knowing my energies were up. And I think that's really good for all of us to know that you can be your most powerful, energetic, radiant self, and you're doing nothing by what you think you're doing. You can just simply be. So I know you dropped out then, but I just kept going.
I know.
I saw it was still recording.
I feel like I had a client earlier in the week, and you know, we were talking about some of the things that were coming up for her, and she commented on how she constantly guides and wishes that all of her friends and people around her would only see themselves through the eyes that she sees them, through the beauty that she sees them. And we were talking about how she could apply that same theory to herself in her own shadows, in her own way of doing that. And I feel like that was such a beautiful analogy again of remembrance of how easy it is for us to talk ourselves off the light ledge, talk ourselves off the light. And you know, your light doesn't change. Your light continues to emanate. It continues to shine really brightly. But what changes the frequency of how you're feeling and how you're then creating is you.
That's it. It's like you're your own dimmer switch. And that's by what you're feeling and thinking and projecting in that moment of now. But and you can switch at any minute.
And how we apply that to our children, because a lot of people will then turn around and be like, well, then what are you saying about my child? You know, why are they showing this? Why are they expressing that? And again, often our children are still just showing us what we haven't seen for ourselves and what we're needing to see, because again, what are our children to us? Our children are someone that we're guiding, someone that are our, you know, responsibility to keep safe, to keep to raise, so to speak. And so, you know, whatever they're reflecting back to us are what then create choices in our life. Like what are we going to do about that? What choice are we going to make? And it still ultimately comes back down to you, similar to how animals do. You know, like there's a perfectly good reason why your animal ends up looking like you.
That's right. Absolutely.
And whatever they reflect in you, wherever they reflect, or whatever they've got going on as well, it's important to really take ownership on what that's reflecting back to you and how you've been the co-creator of that, not without getting dark and doomy about it. Don't get dark, like especially if there's something really big going on, because again, that animal signed up for the job just like your children did.
Yeah. Every moment, you know, and the same, like I said, with my family, you know, in the stuff for them this week and what they're walking through is, you know, when those big challenges arrive, and yes, as the human, we want to push away. That's just that push away, bringing in. It's that whole magnetic frequencies that we are, that we do either or. We attract in or we push away. And that's what the ego will tend to do when we're in fear. It pushes away because it just resists. But the polarity and spirit's always the paradox, as I always say. Everything in that moment, whenever you think you're in the darker space, you're actually in the potential of the lightest. And, you know, it's finding these thoughts again, changing the words that you have to discovering, well, maybe she's got something on offer here. Maybe if I just sit here, and I know when I had to do mine, I had to learn how to just let myself be without the resistance, to just sit and feel everything in that moment, all the fear, all the thoughts, let them all come up, because until I did, I couldn't shift them. But in that same moment, and one of my biggest moments, and I sat there and felt that great resistance was deep settling into the Earth Mother when I had a big meditation with her, and I just wanted out. I wanted to run, it's been a huge pattern of me to run. But as I just kept talking myself through that, even though I felt the resistance, you just hang in there, just keep going. Breathe, do all the skills I could, invite everybody in to help me, use the violet, all the skills we talk about. And then all of a sudden, as I just focused on the simple skills, I became aware that I'm okay. I'm actually still okay. Like, that fear's lessened, or those feelings have dimmed a little bit, the switch has dimmed a bit, and things haven't collapsed. The world still around me is okay. I'm still in one piece. Okay, well, what else can I learn here now? What else can I ask for? What else can I do here? And it's until we truly confront that within us, we'll keep running. We'll keep pushing away. And we can tell ourselves whatever we want. But the reality is nothing in your world's going to change until you do the confrontation and get to know thyself. Man, know thyself. I love that sentence. And that's been my sentence. I keep going back to going, man, know thyself. Marie, know thyself. Because in truth, I'm not even Marie. Who am I? I don't know still. I'm so many multiple timelines. I don't know who I am. I'm all of them right now. What I do know is that I am an absolute moment and part of the divine spark. I am a spark of the Creator, uninterrupted. That's who I truly am. And everything else is just aspects of me that I may take from, I may not. And I don't know who I'm ultimately going to be or what I'm ultimately going to do. And you know what? That's okay. I've learned to step back and realize that nothing matters because nothing is matter. And in my gaining of wisdom, I've eased back that peace is such a part of my everyday world. And if it's not, I'm onto it. As soon as I can, to rebalance that within me, to project that out, to have that around me, and just to enjoy every day as best that I can. That's my intention. Find the joy of every day and forget the small stuff. You know, don't sweat the small stuff, that famous sentence, because again, that's a choice if we choose to buy into that or we choose to try something different.
And that reflection around you will always be present. You know, like, again, I don't really feel like I bring in that much.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It doesn't happen around me, whereas there's plenty of people around me that experience that as a reflection. And it's about, you know,
vibration,
what you're bringing back. My only example that I can be in of late is, you know, we're in the base chakra. Last week was our first week, and so I was proactively doing my base chakra things and journaling and watching what was coming up within my base. So come Saturday, I was just like, okay, that's a lot. I feel like I need a rest. And then Isla's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, we're resting. And she's like, what? And then so, and to rest is an art form for me. You know, I am by nature a very restless person, and I've been restless both from energetic and adventurous and really light frequency ways, but I've also been restless from shadow parts, which are, if I don't run, I won't survive, or, you know, you must be busy in order to be successful, or whatever that looks like, you know. So I watched it be reflected on this little 9-year-old all day. You know, she still brought it up on Monday. Like, you know, we went to the beach Monday afternoon, and I go, that was a really nice beach journey. She's like, yes, it was better than Saturday. You know, so she was still energetically, all I saw was that she was still trying to just dig in there to make me feel bad for restlessness, for wanting rest and desiring rest and honoring myself in rest. And I didn't look at that as her doing that to me. I looked at that as, I still have a part of me that isn't okay resting.
Yeah. A little vibration. Everything is simply about a vibration, and we're just playing the game of vibration and frequencies. That's it. And just that knowledge helps you pull out, I think, you know, and like I've always said to so many, and I mean it, energy changed my life, and it changed me from an emotionally reactive, negative, fear-based being into this great tool that gave me detachment and discernment to understand it from such a neutral position and such a vibratory frequency-based position that I didn't have to buy into whatever was presenting. I chose to look at what everyone's vibration is doing. What am I doing to bring everybody into this creation? And how can I adjust my vibration to change the scene, to change the chapter? That's it. Simple is the way forward.
So any other notes on the equinox before we run away, Marie?
No, I just intentionally, utilize these frequencies, intend to connect to these frequencies, intend to connect to Gaia. You know, she's moving into some amazing space for her beautiful being and her heart and her I am presence, to just sit with that on this new moon aspect. Again, discern where you're at, shift that out, and then feel, really feel, trust any intuition, trust any inspiration, trust any random thoughts that might pop in that make you feel good, and try launching those. You know, think of those as like a skyrocket that you're just launching out to the universe, and see what comes back. You know, this is a game of playing. Instead of being too serious and getting head up and caught up in what you have to and have not to do, just play. Get to enjoy what your world and life is about, which is why you actually came. You didn't come here to suffer and have hardship. You came here to play and have fun. So again, that's a journey in itself, how to just let yourself try. Let's see, who knows? Who knows? And, you know, see what comes. That's the journey as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Well, my advice would be to just continue to create even more space for you to be with yourself over the course of the day. You know, have more moments than you've ever created before. So if morning's been your vibe and you usually tend to create space for you and you're really diligent about that, how can you create space in the afternoon as well? Or how can there be a space that you create, even if it's just for 5 minutes in the middle of the day, where you can just have a little bit more self-reflection? And the power of gratitude. Yes, gratitude, absolutely.
Gratitude, morning and night.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't start a day better.
We might launch the next hub, which is about sound. Are we going to do sounding next time, Marie?
I feel we might. I could feel that for today, but we didn't have enough time today. So we're probably closing now. But yeah, I think introductions to sound and the importance of sound, I think that's a good one for next time.
And we might talk about light language. A lot of my clients have been downloading their light language lately. We might go into light language. My light language is definitely more unique than others. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel that might be it for us. And from me to you, ciao.
Ciao. Talk to you guys.
Bye. Ciao for now. Bye.